Shalom, giving all praise, honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rahachudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of all well. Shalom to you, Arkin, pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth and sincerity. As always, I'd like to start by saying that we are the real Hebrew Israelites. The real Israelites, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians and West Africans predominantly. However, you are going to get Israelites that do look like the other nations because Israel has been scattered amongst all people throughout our various captivities. But if the lineage of your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible who is named Jacob, then you too are an Israelite no matter what you may look like, because Israel has been scattered amongst all nations. And pertaining to Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18, it states that your lineage is determined by the line of your forefathers, so that's your nationality. Okay, so I'm just going to speak a bit on an article that a brother sent me a day or two ago. And this is from Glasgow Live. It says, mass coronavirus vaccination plan for Scotland in 6 weeks' time, leaked email claims. Now, this was published on the 1st of November, which was actually yesterday. So it says, NHS Scotland has already secured fridges to store the vaccine in readiness for its anticipated delivery before Christmas. So it says a mass vaccination programme is being planned for Scotland in mid-December, according to a leaked email. A memo has been uncovered by the Sunday Mail that relates to the rollout of an anticipated nationwide COVID-19 inoculation schedule in just 6 weeks' time. The document explains it's the most important public health goal in our lifetimes. It is also understood that the Scottish NHS has already awarded a contract for supply of refrigeration equipment to store the vaccine when it becomes available. Hold on a second. Okay. So it says the email sent by NHS Lothian Director David Small to Health and Social Partnership HSCP members in the different local authority areas outlines the scale of the operation required. It explains timescales are uncertain, but we are working to an assumption that a vaccine will be available from mid-December 2020. This will be a mass vaccination program to achieve the most important public health goal in our lifetimes. We would like to meet HSCP and council leads in each area to brief you on the likely shape of the program, discuss delivery options and agree how we can work together to achieve success. Given the tight timescale, I hope you will be able to meet us as early as possible. NHS National Services Scotland signed a deal with an English firm to buy fridges to keep the COVID-19 vaccine. The 329,000 contract with LabCold resulted in a Basingstoke-based firm being hired to store and transport the refrigeration equipment needed. Scotland will have access to millions of doses of pre-ordered by the UK government. New drugs usually take years to develop and be passed as safe to use, but teams of scientists have been working around the world at an unprecedented pace to find a way of conquering COVID-19. The UK government has secured access to 300 million doses from the global manufacturers in anticipation of them being approved, and health boards are ramping up preparations for delivering them to the public. Labour MSP Neil Findlay has demanded the Scottish government is open and transparent about the timeline for delivering a vaccine. He said, after 8 months of torturous lockdowns that has affected every citizen in the country, with people losing their jobs and businesses, and most tragically their lives, it has taken a leaked email from NHS Lothian to establish that they are in fact planning to roll out a nationwide vaccine. This is the news people have been desperate to hear since the beginning of the crisis, and instead of telling people about this game changer, the government appears to want to hold back the information. They should be open and transparent with people. This should be a time of celebration, not a time to keep people in the dark. Phase 3 trials of a vaccine developed by Oxford University and AstraZeneca are taking place across the world. It is one of the front runners, but there are almost 200 in development. Another vaccine is being manufactured in a small plant near Edinburgh by a pharmaceutical company named Valneva. Developers believe it could offer better, longer and broader production levels to high-risk groups. The research team have won a 1.4 billion contract with the UK government to provide 60 million doses by the end of next year if it proves successful in trials. A little bit more on this. Kate Bingham, chairwoman of the UK Vaccine Task Force, has previously said inoculations for some of the most vulnerable people could begin this side of Christmas. Scotland's National Clinical Director Jason Leatek has also said vaccinations could start by the festive season. He said that while officials do not expect to produce while officials do not expect a product to be available in days, there were encouraging developments. When contacted NHS Lothian about leaked email, Small said as part of the national response to COVID-19, NHS Lothian, along with colleagues across Scotland, is currently reviewing plans for a mass vaccination to ensure that we are in a state of readiness to respond as soon as a vaccine becomes available. We've asked staff who would want to volunteer to become vaccinators to let us know in order to build a database as part of a general preparedness planning. A Scottish Government spokesperson added, "We cannot be certain when a safe and effective COVID-19 vaccine will be available. Our flu vaccination and COVID-19 vaccination program board is considering how the COVID-19 vaccine will be deployed to Slovakia. This includes logistics such as who will deliver the vaccine and how it will be stored. The Joint Committee on Vaccinations and Immunisations are providing expert advice to ministers to help inform decision-making on how the vaccine supply will be deployed in Scotland. In Scotland, we already deliver nearly 2 million doses of vaccine routinely every year, and we have a comprehensive delivery infrastructure in place. The COVID-19 vaccination programme comes amid mounting concerns over the rollout of the flu vaccine in Scotland. Glasgow NHS Chief Jane Grant was forced to apologise earlier this week for the area's flu jab shambles. She promised to learn lessons after failing to prioritise the elderly over younger patients in the rollout of the winter vaccination programme. So there you have it. I just wanted to bring this article out because it's talking about wide-scale rollouts of vaccines, and we can see how this falls in line with Esau's agenda, because he's basically prepared the minds of the people to accept this thing. Although a lot of people are going to resist it, you're going to have people who are going to be wanting this thing, because just recently Esau has announced over here in the UK, in London in particular, which is where I'm at, that they're going into a second lockdown. And when I was out on Saturday on my way home, I saw some woman in a chip shop complaining about how they need the vaccine as soon as possible and how people are still walking without masks and putting people's lives in danger. She's basically, you can see she was ready and willing to just roll up her sleeve and let Esau inject her with the vaccine. And that's how a lot of these people are going to be, especially women, because of the fear. They've been fear-mongered into believing that this virus is worse than it is. And they want to get back to their level of normality of living, which is nothing normal about it at all when you look at it in light of what normal really is. Normal should be adhering to the laws, statutes and commandments of the Holy Scriptures, and the society does anything but that. So, yeah, it's an interesting article and it shows the signs of the times. So I just want to bring out a few precepts. So like I'm just pulling them up. So Leviticus 19 and 28, let me get my Bible up. Leviticus 19 and 28 clearly states that ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh. Now, we're not supposed to be having any cuttings in our flesh, and that includes injections. So if you're getting, flu vaccinations, or in this case COVID-19 vaccinations, that's technically going off because you're not supposed to have any cuttings in your flesh. This also is stated in Leviticus 21 and verse 5. It says, They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. You know, you're not supposed to have any cuttings in your flesh, point blank, period. So, really we're not supposed to be taking this vaccine when it comes down to it, And if it comes down to it where Esau starts making threats where, if you don't take this vaccine, you're not going to receive your benefits, or you're not going to be able to participate in society, then we have to take that. We have to take that for what it is, because, if you're willing to let Esau inject you over the smallest things, then how are you going to resist him when the great temptation comes, which is the mark of the beast, which is the RFID implantable microchip? If you can't resist Esau over these little things, what hope do you have of resisting him over his greatest move that he's going to make, which is the RFID implantable microchip? So let's get that in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, for those of you who may not be aware of this or new to this truth. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 13. Starting from verse 16, it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." Let me read verse 15 actually. "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast." Now the image of the beast is talking about this second the second Roman Empire beast system, which is what we're living in at the moment. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So basically, if Esau's threatening your life, saying that you have to take this RFID implantable microchip, otherwise you will die, then you have to be rooted in this faith to be able to resist that and say, no, I'm not taking it, point blank, period. Continuing on, it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Now the penalty for taking that mark is the penalty for taking that is this. It says in Revelation 14:9, "And a third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up for ever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and the image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushua HaMashiach." Now, that torment is talking about the thermonuclear destruction that's going to come upon the earth. When the nuclear missiles are fired, they're going to destroy Babylon the Great, which is America. Babylon the Great refers to America in the Bible. And they're also going to hit various other parts of the earth. Not only that, you're going to have the chariots of the Lord, the chariots of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, which are also going to be destroying the earth and redeeming the elect. So they're going to be the vehicles of salvation for the elect, and also the vehicles of the destruction of this society. And Yahushai, the one that the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is going to be leading this attack, because he's coming back to set forth his righteous rulership on the earth. He's not coming here to share the throne with Esau or with Moab or any of the other nations. He's coming here to dominate and claim what is his rightful birthright. So, that's just a quick lesson on that. Lord willing, this has been edifying. Giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Hachodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of well. And shalom to you, Aki, and pushing this word around the globe with faith and in truth and in sincerity. And until the next lesson, Lord willing, I say shalom.